No, I never imagined one evening could change everything I knew about myself, about him, and the careful boundaries I had tried to maintain. As we sat together in that quiet, dimly lit room, the weight of unspoken feelings pressed between us. Every glance, every small touch, every lingering moment spoke volumes that words could never capture. I found myself whispering, "Please, go slow," my voice trembling with nervousness and anticipation, too. He smiled knowingly, as if he understood the storm of emotions swirling inside me, a storm I had tried to ignore. In that instant, I felt everything shift, the tension growing so heavy I could barely breathe. I felt the rhythm of our interaction, the way he leaned in, our hands brushed, conversation lingered on personal topics, creating a bubble around us where the outside world ceased to exist. I was both exhilarated and terrified. My mind raced with questions about what this meant, about the lines I had already begun to cross. Despite the guilt gnawing at me, the thrill of the forbidden connection kept pulling me closer, making me cling to every moment we shared, every subtle gesture, every smile that spoke of understanding and desire. I realized that the night had become a turning point, a moment suspended in time where nothing mattered except the shared intensity between us, where my heart raced uncontrollably and my thoughts spun in dizzying circles. Trying to reconcile the part of me that wanted to stay within safe boundaries and the part mesmerized, captivated. When he spoke softly, his voice gentle yet charged with emotion, I felt a shiver run through me. A mixture of excitement and fear, because everything he said seemed to reach places in me I didn't even know existed. Chet. As the conversation deepened, as the air between us grew thicker with unspoken feelings, I felt my pulse quicken, my stomach tighten, my thoughts scattering into a haze of emotions I could barely name. Yet the most overwhelming sensation was being understood, of being seen in a way I hadn't experienced before, where pretense and caution fell away and left only raw honesty. I whispered again, "Please, go slow," viewing my own vulnerability laid bare in a way that made me ache. He only nodded, his eyes steady, reassuring, inviting me to let the moment unfold naturally, to let it breathe and grow without forcing it. As we lingered in that delicate balance, a strange mix of tension and comfort, of longing and restraint, I became acutely aware of the stakes, of the life outside the room, of the commitments and responsibilities waiting for me here. Yet I couldn't help but be drawn deeper into this current, into the connection that was growing with every shared glance, every touch of a hand, every silent understanding. I realized how much I had missed this sense of being truly known, truly valued, in a way that transcended ordinary interactions, a bond that made time seem irrelevant. A bond that made my heart race and my thoughts spin. A bond that was both thrilling and terrifying all at once. Slatter. As the night wore on, every second stretching into an eternity, I felt the tension rise and fall like a tide, ebbing and flowing with the conversation, with the small gestures, with the quiet moments where words were unnecessary, because we understood each other perfectly. And I kept whispering, "Please, go slow." It was not just about the pace of our interaction, but about savoring the intensity, about holding on to a moment that I knew could not last, about acknowledging the gravity of the feelings that had emerged so unexpectedly. He responded in kind, with patience and care, guiding the interaction with a sensitivity that made my heart swell. With conflicting emotions, because I felt gratitude, admiration, guilt, and longing all at once. A cocktail of feelings that was dizzying and consuming. In those moments, I understood what we shared was more than just fleeting attention, more than just a stolen moment. It was a revelation about connection, about desire in its purest, most human form, about the fragile line between propriety and authenticity. Even though I knew that boundaries existed for a reason, I couldn't ignore the undeniable spark, the emotional electricity that made every glance linger, every word weigh heavily in the balance. As the hours slipped by, as the night deepened and the world outside became quieter, I felt an overwhelming mix of emotions. Relief, fear, exhilaration, guilt, longing, and hope all tangled together in a way that made my chest tighten. Yet at the same time, there was clarity in the chaos, a clear recognition that this was a turning point. A moment that would stay with me, that would shape me, that would leave an imprint on my heart that could not be erased. I whispered once more, please. Go slow. Not out of hesitation, not out of fear, but as an acknowledgement of the intensity, the significance, the undeniable truth of what I was feeling. As he nodded, acknowledging my words with a quiet smile, I felt the delicate balance shift slightly, a dance of emotions and restraint that left me both exhilarated and grounded. In that single, suspended moment, I realized that connection, true connection, was both a gift and a challenge, something that could bring both joy and complication, something that required courage to acknowledge and embrace. I let myself breathe, let myself feel, let myself exist fully in that space, without judgment, without shame. Even though the consequences of such a connection loomed in my mind, I couldn't deny the overwhelming truth that I had been awakened to a part of myself I had long ignored, a part that craved recognition, that craved intensity. The first light of dawn began to creep through the curtains, painting the room in soft, golden hues. I felt a mixture of sadness, longing, and hope, because I knew that the world outside would resume its order. Yet, a piece of me had been changed, had been illuminated, and had been touched in a way that could not be undone. As I looked at him one last time before the moment ended, I realized that what we shared was more than just a fleeting experience. It was a revelation, a lesson, a truth about connection and the human heart. I whispered finally, please, go slow. Not just as a plea, but as a promise to myself to honor these feelings, to acknowledge the depth of human connection, and to carry this newfound understanding into the world, aware of the boundaries, the risks, and the beauty that comes from embracing the intensity of emotions in their purest, most human form. Door closed behind us, and the morning light filled the room. I felt a strange mix of relief and anticipation, knowing that life would continue, that challenges would arise, but that the experience had changed me forever, leaving me more aware of my desires, my vulnerabilities, and my capacity for emotional depth. And in that awareness, I found both power and serenity. A calm recognition that while the moment was fleeting, its impact would endure, shaping the way I felt, thought, and connected in the days and years to come.